up, fam? It's P-Roy. Welcome back to my channel. I have been gone for a minute now, but I'm back and I wanted to share with you my pregnancy story. Yes, this pregnancy was planned. My husband and I decided in 2016 that we wanted to start family planning. So at the very beginning of the year, in January, of course, when you write your goals down, I wrote down on my vision board or my goals that I wanted to have a baby. And I wanted to start planning for the baby in June. I even drew like a little picture of a stick figure woman who was pregnant. June came, my husband and I started planning. We got pregnant that same month. And yeah, so it just took one try for us and we were on the money. Having a baby. I first found out that I was pregnant. I just knew, like when I conceived, I could feel it. I just knew that it happened. But officially, you know, to document it, I of course took a pregnancy test when my cycle didn't come on. And the first test that I took was like a faint line. Of course, you don't want to just believe a faint line. You want something a little bit more like, yeah, you're pregnant, at least for me. So we went and got a digital test. It said pregnant. I knew I was pregnant, and I just told my husband that same day, pretty much the exact same time that I found out that I was pregnant. I was like, hey, you're gonna be a daddy. We first saw the baby at 8 weeks. That was our first appointment with the doctor. That's when I got another confirmation that I was pregnant because I had to take another pregnancy test there, of course. But yeah, we went in, got our ultrasound, got to see the baby. Of course, it looks like a little tadpole. It doesn't look like much of anything at all. But we also got to hear the baby's heartbeat, and that was something, it's more like music to our ears. I really prayed that everything would be okay, especially, you know, in that first trimester. So hearing that was confirmation that we were good. Throughout the whole pregnancy, we did not find out the gender of the baby. We wanted to be surprised in a world where we all get instant gratification from everything, you know, from just posting something and sharing news and all that stuff. It's like microwavable universe, that's what I like to call it, because everything is so instant. We wanted to wait to find out something so special to us, and waiting nine and a half months was gonna be a task, but it's something that we were willing to do. And I'm so thankful that we did do it, because it just made seeing the baby come out that much more exciting and that much more fulfilling. Also, I think it contributed a lot to the lack of stress that I had during pregnancy. I was not stressed out thinking about what our nursery is going to look like, or how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that, and what colors to buy the baby and all that other stuff. Focusing on a healthy baby for me was priority. So just making sure the baby had the essentials and making sure that I was taking care of myself was the biggest thing, because you can't have a healthy baby if you're not taking care of yourself, correct? Right. So during my first trimester, it was probably the hardest trimester. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because third trimester was kind of hard too, but first trimester was really just on a scale of 1 to 10 for nausea, 10 being throwing up, I was at a 9.5. I think I threw up like once, but other than that, I was just constantly just sick. I wasn't getting morning sickness. I was sick throughout the day sickness. So I was dealing with sickness all the time. It was like wake up sick, lay down sick, eat sick, go to the bathroom still sick. Like, it didn't matter what I did. Exercise sick. Oh my god, what is the exercise during the first trimester? I couldn't do anything. I could barely walk. But I did manage to work on a campaign for a company. Got that done. I experienced some loss in my family during my first trimester as well. So my first trimester wasn't necessarily me trying to stay away from you all or anything like that. I just was extremely busy, but I also was trying to take care of me because I was fatigued. I was, like I said, sick all the time. So I just really needed to take care of me and make sure that, hell, I could eat. You know, if I can't eat, then what can I do? I was so sick. So sick. Second trimester was a little bit better. It didn't come until maybe 18 weeks where all the nausea just really went away and I was able to enjoy my pregnancy. I was able to eat a little bit more. I was able to exercise again. So I stayed very active during my second trimester. I mean, walking, I was running for a while. I was still lifting. I was still able to be very active, which I was thankful for. And I took advantage of that. Oh, also during my second trimester, we moved to Denver. So that was another thing I had to deal with, a move mentally. It's not just about the physical part of pregnancy, you know, mentally, are you there? Are you okay? And mentally, I was just kind of exhausted, but I was okay, you know, I was still able to maintain. By my third trimester, pretty much at the very beginning of my third trimester, of course I had my baby shower and everything, and then my dog passed away, so I was just all types of fucked up during that time. It was just a lot to deal with, such a tragedy, and that happened on the very last day of 2016. Especially thinking about, you know, all of that. I'm thinking about the election. I mean, all of that stuff was a mental toll, but I was okay. I went all the way up to 41 weeks and 2 days. So I was pregnant for a long time. Yeah, I was pregnant with you for a long time. The baby's talking. Did I have any complications during pregnancy? Yes, I did, actually. We discovered a cyst on my ovaries very early on. It was probably about 9 weeks, 10 weeks. I've never had an ovarian cyst before, but they apparently are very common. My OB was concerned just because of how big it was. So she asked me to go to a specialist, and I did, and he was not concerned. He said normally they start shrinking or they go away, or if they don't go away, then maybe after pregnancy they'll go away, and if it doesn't go away, then if you want to get surgery you can. But he was not concerned, and he asked me to come back to see him before, you know, about 20 weeks. He said, you know, come back and see us, we'll let you know what's going on with it. I went back, everything was good. It actually started shrinking, or pretty much shrunk down in size. So he was just like, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. Your pregnancy is good. You're not considered high risk or anything like that. So then I transferred out of my OB because she doesn't do labor and delivery anyway. So I was gonna have to leave her and go to somewhere else, but I also moved, right? So in my move, I had to find a new doctor, and my midwives were phenomenal. I didn't have another ultrasound until 36 weeks, and at my 36 weeks, everything was cleared. Bouncing back to my 20-week scan, that's when you find out like everything about the baby, including the gender, which I said we did not find out. During that time, you also get to see anything else that's going on in your body, and I found out that I had a low-lying placenta, which means that the placenta was like really close to my cervix. What ended up happening was I was on pelvic rest for about 2 weeks. I couldn't have sex, I could not exercise or do any heavy lifting for those 2 weeks, just to make sure that my placenta moved up. And I did not get my next ultrasound until 36 weeks, and by then it had moved all the way pretty much up my belly, so I didn't have to worry about that, which it would have stopped me from having a vaginal birth. I would have had to have a cesarean birth. And I'm thankful that it did move up, so I was able to birth vaginally. With those complications did come a little bit of mental anguish, but I put everything in God's hands, and I just allowed him to take control over this whole process, because it's nothing I could physically do. So I gave it all to him, and everything worked out perfectly. Diet and cravings. So my diet has always been vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian now for about 7 years, about 7 years, and I didn't know if I would have to switch over during pregnancy, because I told you my first trimester I wasn't really eating well, but after taking all of my tests, I found out I was perfectly fine. I was able to carry full term and some, strictly being a vegetarian. I gained good weight during my pregnancy. I was not anemic. So I was able to enjoy my pregnancy and still enjoy my lifestyle. And I actually cut out dairy, cut out a lot of dairy. I did still eat pizza. Y'all know I be eating pizza. But I did cut out a lot of dairy and gluten in my diet. Other than that, everything pretty much remained the same. So I was healthy vegetarian that gave birth to a healthy baby. As far as cravings go, I didn't have any real cravings. My biggest craving was water. I drank about 3 liters per day, and my other biggest craving was green salad. Like I had to have a healthy, like a big green salad at least once a day, just to keep me feeling good, keep me regular, because I was having complications with that too. My first trimester, I was not able to go to the bathroom like I normally do, and that was really bugging me. We family, right? So I'm gonna share that with y'all. But it was really bugging me, so I figured that incorporating more greens and especially drinking a lot of water would help, and it did. Oh, another craving, essential water is what I was drinking. I was drinking nothing but that brand pretty much, because I could taste all of the other waters. I could taste how they, it was a dirty taste to me. I don't know how to explain that, but essential was the cleanest water and the purest water that I could drink, and I drank that non-stop to the point where I was ordering it on Amazon through a subscription if I could not get in the stores, because I needed that water. I had to have it. I maintained a healthy diet. I didn't want to go overboard. I didn't want to go over the top. You know how some people during pregnancy, they're like, oh, I'm gonna eat every single thing I can get my hands on. I'm not that girl. I actually, you know, I don't care what anybody says, and a lot of people don't talk about this, but weight gain during pregnancy was very eye-opening for me, because I've never been over a certain weight in my life. So seeing my body go through those changes was really different, and a different type of process. I had to process that, and every single day, you know, you see yourself in this, of course you're creating life and everything, and you're like, oh, just so beautiful and all of that, but you also have to deal with the fact that it's heavy, and it was really heavy for me to carry the baby. So I had to make sure that I was keeping my strength up. That's why I said I was exercising and everything, because my legs need not give out, or me and the baby gonna be on the ground, you know what I'm saying? So that was another thing that I had to process and go through. I had a couple different doctors. So I had an OB at first, OBGYN, and she was really good, but like I said, she didn't do labor and delivery, so I had to switch about 20 weeks regardless of what I was going to do. I had to switch from her to someone else that did specialize in labor and delivery, or, you know, some type of, you know, birthing plan or whatever. So just so happened that I moved, we found a birthing center here, and I really enjoyed my experience there. They made it very easy to have a baby. They did mandatory birthing classes. I took mandatory breastfeeding classes, and all of that prepared me mentally to have this baby and to want to have it the most natural way possible. I got to have the birth that I wanted, plus I got the care that I needed. So that was a great package to have. I don't know any other questions that you all may have about my pregnancy. If you have any more questions, you can leave them down below. I will definitely try to answer them. My next video will be on my labor and delivery, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a heads up. I had it naturally. Until next time, fam, peace.